What up, everybody? After Tommy and Diamond got done robbing Miguel and dropping 4 more bodies in the process, with many more casualties to come as a result of the robbery, for example, the 2 insane Prince Sedatos Miguel blamed the robbery on in episode 3. But it was at this time that Diamond, with all seriousness, asked Tommy the question, "Doesn't all this killing ever bother you?" Because killing isn't easy for most people like it is for Tommy, who catches a body or 2 every episode. But I'm sure that Tommy wasn't always like that. But the more bodies he caught, the more easy it became for him to just kill, until it just became the instinctive thing for him to do. But what made Tommy get his first kill that got the cycle started? Like Tariq once told Effie, killing Ray Ray started a cycle that he just can't get out of. But Tariq didn't necessarily want to be a killer. He did what he thought was the right thing to do by avenging the death of his sister, who he saw killed right in front of his face. So there was an initial action that led to Tariq catching his first body. And it wasn't no small thing like territory or anything like that. He literally killed the man he saw kill his twin sister in cold blood. Even Tariq's second kill, when he killed his father Ghost, he was pressured into a corner where he was going to have to stand trial for murder. So like he told Tommy on the Ghost Season 3 finale, he didn't want to do it, but he did what he had to do. Now, out of all people, Tommy had to understand that. So was Tommy quick to catch a body like Tariq, or was he scared about it like Brayden? But even with Brayden, once he had enough incentive to kill, his uncle threatening his innocent father, he also did what he had to do. All the times before that, when Brayden chose not to kill, it was because he didn't have a personal connection to it and didn't want to just kill someone in cold blood, like Lauren or even the Russian boss. Then there's another first kill we've seen on the Power Universe, and that is Famous from Raising Kanan. Unlike Tariq or Brayden's first kills, where there was a personal connection and a motive to catch the body, Famous was trying to commit a robbery because he needed money. But Freddy wasn't about to give up his money, and Famous came down to a kill or be killed situation. And again, just like Brayden and Tariq, he also did what he had to do. Getting me to Kanan and D-Wiz killing Buck 20. This was the first kill for whichever one of them hit Buck. But this was unlike Tariq, Brayden, and even Famous. They weren't doing what they had to do. They were just popping off over some foolishness. But the thing about this kill that was different than the others is the peer pressure element. There was a group of about 5 kids, and they all banded together to make that bad decision. Getting me to D-Mac, and when will he catch his first body? Right now, JP and Tommy have D-Mac on strict rules, almost like a kid on punishment. D-Mac is forced to sit in the house all day long on his iPad. And Tommy also gave him a job doing posts on social media about where to buy drugs from CBI. It's now been a few weeks since D-Mac got shot, and he's starting to feel better and better, like he needs to get back to the streets. One quality we can note about D-Mac is that he doesn't have fear. Some kids, after being shot, would be scared to return to the streets, but D-Mac's been ready. This is because D-Mac was practically raised in the streets. His father JP wasn't around at all, and his mother wasn't around much, until eventually she was no longer around anymore either, and D-Mac was forced to survive on the streets on his own. So at some point during D-Mac's childhood, he met Marshall and joined the original CBI when Jannard was running things and Diamond was still in prison. Jannard was under the impression that both Marshall and D-Mac were stone cold killers. We also saw them shoot up JP's bar in Force Season 1, which was also something they had done a few times, until Marshall saw it as a waste of time and wanted to rob the club. But we see from Season 1 that D-Mac had at least 2 guns, a pistol and a tech. That's why Episode 3, when Tommy brought the gun to JP and said that he had been shot at, D-Mac asked if he could get his guns back. One mistake I can promise you Tommy and JP are making is trying to parent a kid too hard who has never been parented before at all. This is going to cause D-Mac to rebel and start doing stuff behind their backs. But if they would have just gave D-Mac his guns back, they would have earned his trust. Yeah, that's his uncle and his dad, but they still haven't earned his trust like that yet. That's why at the end of Episode 3, we already see the process of rebellion starting with D-Mac taking the gun that Tommy brought for JP. That's because he trusts himself more than he trusts his father to protect him. And honestly, from an outside perspective looking at it, who's going to keep the family safer if someone did come for them? JP, who would have to run to the dresser to grab the gun, and by then it would be too late, or D-Mac, who has the gun on his hip. And Tommy should know that D-Mac isn't going to do anything stupid with the guns because unlike Jannard, Tommy knows that D-Mac is not a killer. But now D-Mac is trying to hide things from Tommy and JP because he obviously can't be open with them. It might do something stupid with the gun. It reminds me a little of when Tariq stole the gun from Angel's apartment and it ended up getting caught bringing it to school because his mom was about to search his room. So D-Mac might take that gun and do something with it if Tommy and JP start questioning him about it. And from the looks of the Episode 4 trailer, D-Mac is going to try to get back into the streets. And Tommy tells D-Mac that if he even hears D-Mac's out on the corners hustling, he might have to kill D-Mac himself. Isn't this reminiscent to when Tariq asked Ghost to teach him the game? And Ghost told Tariq that he would rather kill him than to let him get involved in that life. And we saw how things turned out between Tariq and Ghost. Getting me to the question, what will make D-Mac catch his first body? Out of all the examples I mentioned earlier, the famous kill would seem like a similar situation, possibly. If D-Mac is out on the corners hustling or doing something he has no business doing, maybe someone would try robbing him or whatever to put him in a kill or be killed situation where he has no choice. Also keep in mind that Marshall was just introduced on Episode 3 for the first time in Season 2. He had a very small role, but we did find out he's a part of CBI and he's rolling around with Smurf now. Seeing Marshall back on the scene could be a clue that D-Mac and Marshall are about to link back up. We know from Season 1 that the two are like brothers, and by the looks of things, Marshall probably doesn't have much family, and that's likely how him and D-Mac got connected. So there's a good chance that D-Mac's first kill has something to do with Marshall. Maybe Marshall gets killed and he goes out to avenge his brother's death. This would be more similar to Tariq and Brayden's first kill, where there was an action with a personal attachment that caused them to catch their first body. Or D-Mac could just find himself hooking back up with Marshall and being peer pressured into doing something stupid, like we saw with Kanan and D-Wiz killing Buck 20. But look for something to pop off, and that gun could very well come into play, and how D-Mac catches his first body. There's also a chance that he passes that gun off to someone else, and we could see Marshall catch his first body. Either way, it's only a matter of time until D-Mac jumps off the porch again and links back up with his boy Marshall. But one thing we do know for sure, 100%, is that nothing is going to happen to D-Mac, JP, or Kate until Tommy returns to New York. But after that, all bets are off the table, and anyone could be free game. And there you have it, D-Mac's kill shot. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.